Here's an engaging and dynamic report tailored for your channel, focusing on the Toronto Maple Leafs salary cap situation and the looming Mitch Marner dilemma. Are you ready for the off-season bombshell that could redefine the Toronto Maple Leafs? Sports fans, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the high-stakes, high-wire act that is the Toronto Maple Leafs off-season salary cap management. Forget the bland numbers and dry projections. We're talking about the pulse-pounding, gut-wrenching decisions that could make or break this franchise. How much cap space do the Leafs really have? And what does that mean for the fate of a certain superstar who might just be on his way out? The answers, my friends, are far more complex and captivating than you might imagine. For years, we've looked at those tidy cap space figures on sites like Puckpedia and thought we understood the full picture. $25,709,001 in cap space for the Leafs. Sounds like a king's ransom, right? Well, hold your horses. That number is a projection for the start of the next regular season. And as any seasoned general manager will tell you, the off-season cap calculation is a beast of an entirely different nature. A complex, nuanced beast that holds the keys to a team's flexibility. Let's pull back the curtain on this intricate process. Unlike the straightforward regular season calculation, the off-season cap is a dynamic sum. It takes into account the full cap hit of every player under contract for the coming season, with one-way contracts counting for their full amount and two-way contracts prorated based on days played in the NHL the previous year. Even restricted free agents currently without contracts are factored in at their qualifying offer amount, also prorated. It's a financial ballet, a delicate dance of numbers where every pirouette has significant implications. After a deep dive, a rough calculation reveals that the Leafs actually have slightly less space than that initial projection, a difference of around $3 million. But here's the plot twist, the secret weapon in the off-season arsenal, a 10% cushion of the cap ceiling. That's right, a built-in buffer. This means, in effect, the Leafs are currently operating with a staggering $32 million in off-season cap space. $32 million. Is that enough to make the moves they need? Or is it a tantalizing mirage, a fleeting illusion in the desert of hockey economics? This isn't some obscure, arcane rule. Since the old tagging room process was abolished, teams must comply with this off-season calculation from the end of the regular season right up to July 1st. And while it's so complex that reporters often just call Bill daily for the definitive answer, believe me, I've tried to get it as close as humanly possible without a direct line to the NHL's cap gurus. One thing is clear, the Leafs front office understands these intricacies inside and out. They are playing chess, not checkers, and they know exactly how to leverage this temporary financial freedom. So, what's on the immediate agenda before the July 1st fireworks? The expected signings of fan favorites like John Tavares and Matthew Knies are certainly high on the list. Perhaps even the re-signing of promising young talent like Pontus Holmberg and Dennis Hildeby. These are the pieces of the puzzle that seem relatively straightforward. But then, looming large, casting a colossal shadow over all these plans, is one name, Mitch Marner. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the whispers that are growing into a roar, a potential sign-and trade deal involving Marner. I'm not saying the Leafs have decided Marner won't be in blue and white next season, but let's be honest, the tea leaves are brewing a strong narrative here. And the possibility of a sign-and trade isn't just speculation, it's a very real strategic maneuver. How does it work, you ask? It's exactly what it sounds like. Before July 1st, the Leafs would sign Marner to an extension, an 8-year contract, something only they can offer. No other team can sign him to that long a deal. Once that ink is dry, the trade takes place. This isn't just about moving a player, it's about leveraging a unique advantage. The first major sign-and trade under the current salary cap system was the blockbuster Matthew Tkachuk deal to Florida. Calgary, in that instance, received a king's ransom. 3 players and a first-round pick. But here's the crucial distinction. Tkachuk was a restricted free agent, still under Calgary's control. Mitch Marner is a different story. He's heading towards unrestricted free agency. So, Will the Leafs get a similar haul for Marner? In a word, no. The Leafs would be doing another team a massive favor by spreading Marner's new salary over 8 years, helping them with their cap management. For that, you get more of a gratuity than a significant return. Remember when the Oilers reportedly wanted the Leafs to do a sign-and trade with Zach Hyman? The rumored return was a couple of picks, one described as crappy. That's the likely scenario here. A few draft picks, perhaps a mid-round one, and maybe a later-round flyer. However, there's one intriguing wrinkle that could significantly alter the return: a signing bonus. If the Leafs sign Marner to a new contract with a maximum allowed signing bonus on the first season, and then pay him that bonus on July 1st before trading him, the equation changes. You would essentially be buying a draft pick or a player with actual cash. This kind of maneuver, while less common, offers a more tangible and immediate value in return. It's a cash-for-assets play, and while precedent for this exact scenario is scarce, the value of cap space to a team is undeniable. Recent statements hint at a strained relationship between Marner's camp and the Leafs, potentially complicating any sign-and trade. But never underestimate the strategic mind of an NHL general manager. The Leafs might want to keep that door open themselves, even if just a sliver. Now let's circle back to that $32 million in off-season cap space. If Marner is signed for, say, $13 million, that leaves a remaining chunk of $19 million. On the surface, that seems more than enough to sign Tavares and Knies, especially with Tavares reportedly willing to take a discount. And it absolutely is. But here's the catch, the strategic headache that keeps GMs up at night. What if the Leafs have a trade in mind for the draft? Suddenly, that precious off-season space could be gobbled up by incoming players, contracting the available funds considerably for the period that Marner is still technically on the Leafs roster pre-trade. This isn't a long-term issue. It's often a matter of hours or days to register the contract and the trade. But the receiving team might have their own timing and cap issues, potentially delaying the deal until after the draft regardless. Maximum flexibility is the name of the game in off-season cap management. It's why those deals for players like Tavares and Knies, even if verbally agreed upon, might sit and wait, hovering in the ether until the larger dominoes fall. I fully expect all of this off-season drama to be resolved and dusted before July 1st. Not necessarily the RFAs beyond Knies, those can wait, but the intricate dance of how Mitch Marner departs and how Tavares and Knies solidify their places will likely be sorted out right around draft day. The Leafs, I believe, aren't in the business of splashing out cash on a departing Marner without a significant return for that kind of financial commitment. But an ordinary sign-and trade, netting them an additional drafted prospect? Absolutely. Every fresh face with potential is good news for the future. The Toronto Maple Leafs are on the cusp of an off-season that could reshape their destiny. Will they execute a masterful cap maneuver? Will they navigate the Marner situation with finesse? The clock is ticking, the stakes are sky high, and one thing is for sure, the next few weeks are going to be a roller coaster ride for Leafs Nation. What are your thoughts on the Leafs cap situation and the looming Marner decision? Do you think a sign-and trade is the right move, or should they try to keep him? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more exclusive insights into the world of hockey.